I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's a winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, it's Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video. And today, I want to speak on something that I think will split the fan base, and I think already has split this Panthers fan base already, and that is the topic of what to do with Cam Newton. And I already know this is going to be a really hard topic to talk about because of just how much it does split this fan base, but it's still a very important and a very real dilemma to talk about, a really big topic here. And I think it starts with expectations. I think it starts with what's the future of this team, and I think it starts with what do you think that the new owner, David Tepper, is going to be doing? What's he looking for moving forward? And just what can we expect from this team moving forward? Not just in the short term, but the long term as well. And I think that I've been kind of going back and forth. I did a couple videos maybe a month ago talking about how there are two sides to it, how there were some really good and convincing points to getting rid of Cam and some really good and convincing points to keeping Cam on this Panthers team. But after seeing how our team's looking right now, and then seeing and understanding what's going to be going on in the next couple years, I think at this point I've come to a decision on this. I think it might just be time for the Panthers to move on from Cam Newton. Now look, I can see you already typing those comments down, but wait a second. Listen to what I've got to say here before you say what you're going to say, because there are some very important points that I have to make, and some of those points have to come in questions to you. Do you believe that right now this team is constructed to be a Cam Newton away from making the playoffs? Think about the defense, think about the offensive line, and think about the players that will be leaving this team off their contracts, guys who are going to be either you have to pay them a lot to stay on the team, or if you don't pay those guys and they're let go, what kind of player is going to replace them? Now, I have seen people say that James Bradberry has been bad, but if bad is locking up the top 3 receivers in our division and 3 of the top 5 receivers in the whole NFL for the last 3 years, if that's bad, then I hope and pray y'all have someone in mind to bring in after James Bradberry's gone, like you guys want, to stop Julio Jones, Mike Evans, and Michael Thomas. And if you're going to say it's going to come in the draft, a rookie doing that, look, I don't know about that. Then there's a whole thought of someone in free agency. You're going to have to pay someone some really big money to come to Carolina and stop those 3 guys. Unless you think that person's on the team already, if you believe in Ross Cockrell or Dante Jackson, let me stop that joke right now. But it's not just James Bradberry. It's people in the front 7. We have D linemen. We have linebackers. We have people on the O line. If you believe that this team, constructed as it is right now this year, and how it's going to look next year with replacement level players on the offense and the defense, if this team is one Cam Newton away from making a playoff push, then maybe I can agree with keeping Cam on this team. There's only a finite amount of draft picks you have, and there's only a finite amount of money in cap room you can have to sign more players. And yeah, I do get you want to focus on the offensive weapons. Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac is one of the best options, one of the best weapons on offense, regardless of his position in the whole NFL. You got DJ Moore, who's looked really good with a backup, and I saw a stat earlier today that said that only like 65% of the passes that Curtis Samuel gets thrown are deemed actually catchable. You have Ian Thomas on the come up. There are some options on this team, but it's really, really hard to throw the ball to those options, and it's really hard for Christian McCaffrey to run the ball when there's no one on the O-line. Now, let me just ask you this question real quick. Name 3 players on the offensive line right now who you have consistent confidence in to protect whoever's back there playing quarterback. Who you have consistent confidence in to block for Christian McCaffrey and get him the yards he needs. Who do you think is going to protect the quarterback? I think Trey Turner's good. I think Taylor Moton's good when he plays right tackle, but there's not anyone else left of Trey Turner who I can actually say I trust consistently. And that's the big thing for me. I don't really believe that Cam is protected. And then on his blind side, look, Greg Little has been in and out. The dude looks like he's kind of injury prone. At first, it was concussion, and concussions are bad. You can't really prevent concussions, but he was out for like, what, a month or 2 months with a concussion, came back, got hurt immediately. Dennis Daly, he's a 6th-round pick for a reason, so I'm not really sure what to expect from him. But if your offensive line cannot block and cannot protect, then the offense is going to be trash. The offense is going to be trash consistently. And I do believe, look, we all know that Cam is the best quarterback this team's ever seen. Cam is the best player this team has ever seen. My captain. I gotta say it. You're the second best Panther of all time. Greatest player in NFL history. But we understand that Cam is the best player in Panthers history. But what do you realistically expect from Cam Newton behind this offensive line? Let's just say that Cam can overcome the offensive line. He'd have to put up 40 points a game to really offset what the defense is doing. This is a defense that cannot stop the run. A defense that can't stop the run, but also cannot stop teams' number 2 and 3 options when we go against these guys. Dante Jackson and Ross Cockrell, I don't have any faith in them. We have guys who are going to be leaving the defense right now, and we're going to have to either pay someone to come in or draft players to replace those dudes. And with all that movement going on, you have to decide, are you going to draft players to play on the offensive line and protect Cam? Or are you going to draft players or sign players to free agency, spend that money there on defense to stop the run or to stop the passing game by getting more players in the secondary? This upcoming year, which is going to be the last year of Cam's contract, I don't see us having much success because we have to build up something. We really can't build up both sides of the ball. There's going to be guys leaving. There's guys who aren't pulling their weight on both sides of the ball. And even with Cam playing in his last year of his contract, I'm not sure just how much he can elevate this team as a whole. You may as well, this offseason, go ahead and say, look, Cam, we understand you are the best thing that ever happened to this team. But like I mentioned in an earlier video, Cam does not deserve to be on this team. Not because he's bad, but because the team is so bad. The team does not deserve to have Cam Newton. He does not deserve to be put and subjected to what's going on with this team. This is total rebuild mode right now. Cam should be on a team where he can immediately help someone out. And let's be 100% honest here. I think a lot of people are going ahead and going with the assumption that Cam is going to be 100% healthy with no problems at all coming into next season. We've been down this path. This is going to be the third time, so it's going to be hard to realistically gauge where Cam Newton is. I think we all want and we all hope for him to be back up to 2015 level or around about that, but there is no guarantee. We can all agree there is no guarantee about what Cam's health is going to be. So if the team can get some money on the back end from him not being on the squad and some draft picks from a team that's very quarterback desperate, who actually is a quarterback away from having some success, and we can maybe finesse them a little bit, I think that should be the right move. I do not see this team, as it's currently constructed, or how it's going to be constructed next year, being a Cam Newton away from success. So what's the point of actually keeping Cam then? What do we realistically expect Cam to do? How much do you expect Cam to elevate this team with a poor defense and a very, very horrible offensive line? If you're really a fan of Cam Newton, do you really want to see him behind an offensive line that only has 2 good players on one side of the line? Do you really want to see him have to run for his life every single down, having to be scared for his blind side every single down? And even if he does have amazing games, every single game of the year, watching him have to lose game after game after game because of the defense? I mean, if you're really a fan of Cam Newton, you want to see him have success. And if you're a realistic football fan, you understand that success might not really be in the cards for this team next year. I think there's long-term success if we can build a team over the next couple years, get the O-line straight, get the defense looking good. But that's a 2 to 3, maybe even a 4-year process, probably a 2 to 3 year process that I don't think we should really have Cam subjected to being behind this O-line, getting beat up and having him get even more hurt when there's opportunities to get picks and money on the back end to build this team for the future. That's how I feel about it, man. Obviously, Cam Newton is the best thing that ever happened to this Panthers franchise. But if that's the case, shouldn't he be given a chance to be somewhere where he can have success and maybe not end his career with more injuries behind a very horrible offensive line? And even if he does do good with a defense that will not support him as well? That's my thoughts on it. What do you think? Am I way off base here? Should the team keep Cam and try to force him to do whatever he can to drag this team to a 9-7 record next year and hope that's good enough for the playoffs? Do you think that Cam can do well behind this offensive line. And if the team does build the offensive line up, will there be enough money or draft picks to make the defense good? Like, do you think this team next year, with or without Cam, is a Super Bowl contender? Don't just think about Cam. Think about the offense as a whole and the defense as a whole. Is this team fully, with Cam Newton or without Cam Newton, a very serious playoff Super Bowl contender next year? If so, let me know why you believe that. And if not, do you think it's right to try to keep Cam on this bad team for no other reason than because we drafted him? Or is it maybe smarter for the long-term future of this team to say, look, we didn't do right by you, Cam, at first, so let's try to get you somewhere where you can have some success, and then at the same time, we can get draft picks and money where we can try to build this team for the future, and hopefully we treat the next guy a little bit better than we treated you? I think that's the best gift you can give Cam. Give Cam a fresh start. Give the team a chance to do better with the next guy. It is what it is, and I can get both sides of this, but I think there's a very clear answer here, unless you just want to subject someone to the kind of pain he's going to be feeling if he's playing on this Panthers squad next year. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.